and uh, but it's just so stupid. And then, of course, so Palpatine in the new movie, apparently, he announces his presence at the beginning of the movie, that and he's got this fleet of super star destroyers, each one with the ability to destroy a planet, just like the Death Star, because apparently the Death Star, its problem was that it was only one immense battle station, and Starkiller Base was only one immense planet battle station, and therefore vulnerable, because if it can be destroyed, well, then you have to start all over, and it takes decades to build a new one. So why not just build a whole fleet of super star destroyers, each with the ability of the Death Star to destroy a planet? Never mind that the energy requirements needed to destroy a planet cannot be contained in a mere spaceship. You had to have something as large as a planet itself in order to have that kind of power output. So yeah, Jar Jar Abrams clearly doesn't know what the hell he's doing, so he's just tossing things onto the screen and hoping that people will accept it. And again, breakneck pacing. Don't take any time to think. Move on to the next scene. Yeah, so he's just throwing stuff out there, hoping something will stick, and it comes across like that. And of course, Palpatine, supposedly, even though basically he's trapped in his own corpse, which again, again, this is why Jar Jar Abrams is stupid, but he thinks we're stupid, because we clearly saw, those of us who saw it in the movie theaters back in 1983, and even the special editions, although I'm sure Disney will try to retcon this by further edits, but we've already seen the Death Star blows up, the second Death Star blows up so completely in orbit around Endor. There are no pieces large enough. Certainly not the throne room, not any other part, but there certainly are no pieces large enough uh, to survive entry into the atmosphere. So Palpatine, who was thrown down a ventilation shaft by Darth Vader, and we very clearly see his body explode in Return of the Jedi as he's falling down this reactor shaft. Uh, and then, of course, the Death Star itself is disintegrated in orbit, so there shouldn't even be enough pieces left to raise out of the Endor Ocean. And yet, again, thrown in there just to have it in there. Oh yeah, you remember the Death Star throne room scene from Return of the Jedi? Well, here it's back. Nostalgia pushing just to sell the movie. Never mind that it makes no sense, that it's insulting to the audience who knows it shouldn't be there. But it's back. Palpatine is back, even though, again, he shouldn't even have a body. And the Palpatine makeup they used for Ian McDiarmid looks nothing like in Return of the Jedi or in Revenge of the Sith. Nope. Just looks like a corpse hooked up to life support machinery to keep to keep the brain active, I guess. And for some reason, Palpatine wants Rey to kill him so that he can transfer his Force essence into her and come alive again. But then, apparently, Force healing is now an ability that's pulled out of the ass to. And Force healing as a concept itself isn't necessarily a bad idea, but we've never actually seen it before in Star Wars. I mean, you could have put it in something like, say, The Force Awakens, just to kind of, or maybe even in the Clone Wars animated show, or something before The Force Awakens, to kind of hint that, yeah, this is something that can be done with proper training, or people who have that specific Force talent. Well, and maybe some do and some don't. You could have developed that before. Here it's just shoehorned in because the plot requires it. And so when Palpatine is somehow able to absorb the essence of all the Sith who ever lived before and come alive again fully, so he's alive again in his body instead of his mind being trapped in this corpse, then he realizes he doesn't need Rey, so he tries to kill Rey. and Kylo and drain their life energy. And he tosses Kylo into this crevice and tries to force lightning Rey. He uses force lightning to obliterate the rebel fleet above, and but somehow Rey is able to take a single lightsaber to block it, and then use two lightsabers to push his own force lightning back at him. And for some reason, he still has not learned turn off your force lightning abilities. When your enemies turn it back on you. We're expected to believe that for all he's supposedly clever, but he's still too stupid to learn even that lesson. So he gets disintegrated by Rey because she's the bestest ever, because now she's all the Jedi. But the effort kills her, and then Kylo Ren comes along and uses the same technique that Palpatine did to transfer his life essence into her and revive her. And then he dies, and they kiss before he dies, which, it's just all these stupid decisions. And of course, the scene with the space horses running on the surface of the ship. First of all, they're doing this in space with only respirator masks to protect them from the vacuum of space. You're in space. What happens if you were thrown out into space without a spacesuit? Well, if you don't immediately freeze into a solid chunk of ice, the radiation from whatever star you're closest to will kill you within seconds. But somehow we're supposed to believe that these space horses and people who are riding with just, oxygen masks and nothing else to protect them from the vacuum of space can somehow ride on the surface of a ship because, I don't know, maybe the ship's got an atmosphere surrounding it. We don't know. It's never established that this is possible. But don't stop to think about it. Just accept it and move on because it looks cool. And rumor had it that one test screening had audiences leaving when the Millennium Falcon and everyone on it is destroyed. But here, Jar Jar Abrams set up Finn and Poe as, Poe as a replacement for Han Solo, and Finn as someone with a story arc of his own. But again, they're treated as side quest characters who serve no purpose in the movie because it's all about Rey now. So the side quest with the Finn and Poe, and it's just basically there to pad out the running time. This is what Star Wars has been reduced to: a shameless marketing gimmick designed to sell you the crap that the Magic Store couldn't give away, and is being sold as $50 worth of magic for $15 when it's actually probably $5 worth of magic and you've overpaid. And by the time you realize the con,